We'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
Mr. Mayor, I have none.
All right, with that then I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Do we have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll open up for public comments. If there's anything that anyone has to discuss that is not on the agenda, now will be an appropriate time. Please come forward, state your name and for the record, please.
Harley, if you could push the button down so the green light is on around it.
I think it's on.
I think it's on. Yeah, it's on.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, my name's Harley Bauman, and we're a group from the Mayor Baseball Club. We're here to bring up some facts, I guess, as far as different things about the baseball complex that have really came to our agenda over the last couple of months. And I mean, starting out, I've been involved with the complex out there since 1995. Started coming to council meetings, talking about different things what we could do within the city as far as trying to do something. That land came about as far as becoming available. We started working on it, I believe, back in 1997. Over the years, I mean, countless hours as far as trying to get to a point to try to get things finished. Over the years, the club has joined together with the city and donated in excess of $300,000. But yet, at the same time, we get told and get heard by other people in the town that it's all just for us. If it was all just for us, to build just a baseball park that just fields a town team baseball team, we would have been done back in 2003. One of the main reasons we're here is that if either the council members or other people have something to say about us, we wish they would say it to our faces instead of talking about us behind our backs. We as an organization do the majority of the work, and there's only 3 people that are paid in our organization. Everybody else, it's all donated time. As far as spending time working on that field, I can tell people to their face that I myself have spent thousands of hours working out there and not getting paid for it. And not just at baseball games. I can also say that I myself go to watch a Little League game out there, and at 62 years old, 61, going to be 62 in 2 months. I can't stay for longer than about 3 innings because there's no place to sit. There's no place to go to a bathroom. But yet when we ask for these things, it's all for the baseball club. We as a club are just really kind of, what did we do wrong? I mean, we donate, of the funds that we donate, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 65% to 70% stay within the community. We donate, we work together and partner with the fire department. They help us at meat raffles and we pay them for that time. We try to work together with organizations, but yet at the same time, it's our fault. We don't want that park. I'm really kind of tired of hearing we won't want that park. It's going to raise our taxes. $300,000 hasn't raised our taxes 1 penny yet. By working together with the fire department, has kept your taxes lower instead of going up. By working with the FFA, the 4-H club. I guess I'm just kind of looking for a response.
So who's talking behind your back? What's been said behind your back?
Well, we've heard it at different meetings where our name's been brought up that it's all for the baseball club And we don't see anybody out there doing any work on the field except for a ball game.
Okay.
And we've worked together, tried to work together with the city on this thing now for going on 20 years. I grew up in New Jersey. I started playing town team ball at Maryland in 1972. We've been playing up at Lutheran High since 1964.
You can't use their fields for...
Right now, that's where we've been playing. We played up there this year.
How many people are on the baseball club? How many people are part of the baseball club?
You have 20 to 24 team members.
How many of them live in Mare?
Don't know that exact number.
8
They live in Mare?
On the team.
on the baseball team.
Okay.
In a response to where you're going with that, Mr. Boder, I don't live in the city of Mare now. When I started working with the city of Mare with this project back in 1997, I didn't live in the city of Mare for 11 years. I was dedicated to this because I had a brother-in-law that passed away in 1999 and lived and breathed baseball for this city and did everything. And they donated money year after year after year to the city prior to him passing.
Do you have the fund balances for... How much, back 4 years ago when I first got elected, I asked there be an account set up for Old Schoolhouse Park.
Okay?
You know, what's the balance in there right now?
I can get that for you. I think it's right around $5,000 or $6,000, I believe.
And my hope was to start seeing the baseball funds go into that. There hasn't been much money going into there. Why aren't we putting the baseball money towards that fund?
I can get you the records on that.
Okay.
Within just the last couple of years,
Mhm.
how many thousand?
Well,
Why aren't they going into that fund to...
They are.
You've had
The-
the infield twice.
we refixed the infield twice, so
You
it's
know, if we want to talk about
$32,000.
amenities out there, if we need to put in, bleachers,
Down like 2 years ago.
yeah, we did buy them. Can those go out there?
There's nothing on the softball diamond.
There's
I don't think
nothing
that's why they're really here either. I think
The biggest thing about it is that, we had tried to, like I say, partner with this thing going back for 20 years. And, we
to
just,
have a comment made that we don't volunteer is what
We
I
don't.
think set the whole thing off.
we want to see the park finished. How it gets finished is entirely up to you. That was decided back in 2005.
Was that when the referendum didn't pass?
No, in 2005 is when the mayor decided that he wanted total control. Up until then, we kept,
Total control of what?
as far as deciding what was done out there and how it was done.
They basically told the ball club to get off the project, that the city was going to complete the park.
And that's what we,
The city park, and they had to do it.
yep, that's when we kind of stopped.
First time I've ever heard of that.
First I've ever heard of that.
No, that was true. I mean,
Don't disbelieve that,
I-
I've never heard that till right now,
and at that point in
When
time,
you came on, Luann?
It was 2004 when I came.
Okay.
There were, at times, there was egg line that was ordered, that couldn't be ordered, things just needed to come through the city without
Okay,
it was made.
okay. Which makes some sense, okay.
Right.
And I think obviously the relationship has strained, and there's not a good working relationship. That's my opinion on it. What are you proposing? Me personally, I mean, do we want to see a work session and get together with the baseball, have a meeting, some kind of collaborative discussions? What do you suggest right now to move?
we're just at a point right now where we have a strong relationship with Lutheran High. They've agreed to let us continue to play there, and, and they've got a grandstand that we can see people in, they've got bathrooms that we can go to the bathroom in, so we have to try to assist as far as with doing something if we're gonna go ahead and play there. We can't fund, we donate, I looked at all the numbers and I didn't separate everything out, but I mean, out of roughly if we donate $47,000 out of that money, out of $47,000 to $67,000 was kind of the break. The majority of that money was going to organizations, like I said, like the FFA, Watertown Mayor, basketball program, youth programs, everything else.
In the last 2 years, the ball the charitable gambling has donated about $61,000. About 45 has stayed within the city of Mayor or the school district.
That's where I came up with the number
Is that what you were?
47.
Well, if they want, as much money as you wanna donate to that old schoolhouse park fund to build whatever you want out there, we'll support it. It's a need versus wants thing. We need to fix our streets. We need to service the water debt on the water plant. Would like to lower taxes, but I'm sorry, I'm never going to vote to complete that complex. People in this town don't want it. I don't think we need it. For speaking behind your backs, I've been outspoken since day one on this. I'm not in support of it. I've never spoke behind your back. I've never made those comments. It's always been in front of here. I've been pretty outspoken. Read the paper.
My only question to you, Mr. Boyer, just, and I'll let Keith talk, isn't there a need for the kids to have a park to play on?
Well, we've got a lot of parks to play in. In fact, my kid plays for the Watertown School District. I have to go to Watertown where the facilities are.
Would you like to say 8 miles, 6 miles, and play in town if you live in?
Would I like to live in a community that has lower taxes? Absolutely. Absolutely I would. If that means if I have to drive somewhere else, I'm gonna do it. You have a stadium in Watertown, we have one in Norwood, 2 within how many miles of us? Do you see Walmart building a Walmart store in Waconia and Victoria? It's called overmarket saturation.
That's called apples to oranges to me.
People don't, if you wanna pull the referendum out again, let's look at that, people don't want it. I don't wanna argue with you, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and some of that, just on public comments, we want to try to keep them limited, so I'll let you speak real quick, but...
I'm Keith Magnuson, I live in the Mayor vicinity, I live a mile outside of town, so I'm not a resident of Mayor, for 33 years. We are not pushing for this, as far as the park. We understand there is no stomach for doing this, but we also have a working relationship with Lutheran High. It's gone on for 50 years. They've been generous with us all the way through, and we probably haven't reciprocated the way we should have because of our other commitments, but we need to work with them to push this through for ballpark up there because of our relationship with them. And partly what we're coming up here for is we don't want to be associated as the people that did this, and it's our problem, and it's our fault. We are not a big enough organization to fund 2 ballparks and work at 2 ballparks, and one works for us, one doesn't. We've tried several times. I've been of this opinion for 10 years. We came back, we invested some more money in the ballpark, and we have the same situation again. It's just not a workable thing. If it could be a workable thing, we're approachable, but we have to go where our money will do the most good.
Right.
It's a good idea.
And that's our plan.
Absolutely, it's a good idea.
But we just don't want to be run through the mill on this thing again. We get enough heat about that park that we really didn't have a lot to do with a lot of the decisions made on it. And we just don't want that anymore.
I can understand that. Sounds like a good partnership. If the school's got somewhere there where you can play that's suitable for you, absolutely. It sounds like a great idea. Great idea.
Thank you for coming in. Any other public comments that someone would like to discuss not on the agenda? And I'll close public comments. We'll move to the consent agenda. We have the approval of the minutes for the July 14th, 2014 regular council meeting, approval of the minutes for the July 21st, 2014 budget meeting, approval of the lease agreement for gym space with Mayor Lutheran High, additional claims for the month of July. Is there anything there that needs to be further discussed or removed now to an agenda item?
The dollar amount supposed to be in the Lutheran High thing. It's on the fee schedule, and the mayor agreed to 15 hours, minimum of 2 hours.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Motion. Second.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That'll take us to 5.1.
Mayor, council members, public works, we have a status report before you. Kyle is also in attendance in the audience. If you have any questions of him, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer them.
Specific questions for Kyle? Like a busy month. For Kyle?
Nope.
All right, thank you. Go to 5.2, please.
Mayor, council members, you have the engineer's project and progress report, or his progress report in front of you. I would have you, start answering questions you may have, or Andrew is here, and so he can answer them all. What question is today?
On the Sprint tower work, is that a big punch list? What is?
They, have left quite a bit of a mess up there. It's been done in broadband both. And I actually have, DVDs of all the, inefficiencies that they've left behind with some things that need to be repaired. There's some landscaping that was redone, and then they came out and drove through it again, and left the rest. So there's tables that aren't, they're supposed to be pulled together and tied off, and things hanging, so there are quite a few items that are,
Sprint is on the water tower,
on the
correct?
water.
When did they put that up there?
Last year they came with the proposed changes, so they deposited $10,000 with us as part of the, requirement for us to have those funds available as they work through this, upgrade to their entrance. So there was a building permit applied for everything.
Okay. Dave, Golden Bank feels that they'll get these wrapped up fairly soon. Have we heard back from Sprint, or do we have a timeline? Have we asked for?
I don't know the details of that, Dave.
Okay.
I can get back to you on this one.
I received an email from, that was sent to Dave, that Sprint is waiting to get additional funds to be able to, approve in order to come out here to finish up the work that they need to do. So they're waiting, going through their process to get people back here. I know someone was here last week, it was last Thursday, wasn't it? Wednesday or Thursday, and they were on the water tower, so I'm not sure if they called for an inspection.
Okay. Anything else from the city engineer? Okay. 5.3, I see Jake's not here tonight, but anything specific for the sheriff's department to pass along?
We need to work on National Night Out.
Yep.
Here's the Lego movie. We're going to be showing a movie that night for the city, and he's working on some food and donations.
Perfect. Good. That's great. That's next Tuesday, correct?
Next Tuesday, August 6th. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else from the sheriff's department? 5.4.
Mayor, council members, you have my staff report before you. Included and attached to my staff report are the quarterly financials for the water and sewer. I did not include the, general fund since we've been working on budget. I gave you the flood update. It's going to be sent to Carver County. The ICMA training that I attended, there was discussion at the last meeting about the, swimming pool. So I just provided you with the, staff report that was presented to the park board and the pool and the pool discussion. And then the Carver County elected leaders meeting that I attended, last Tuesday, I included that also. About the transportation plan and the
Specific to the administrator? Okay. And if we could move, thank you. And if we could move to 6.1.
Mr. Mayor, council members, if you recall at the last meeting, we dealt with the spot and variance request. Staff had notified the property owner at 320 Ash Avenue South that the variance was on the council agenda for July 14th, and she was unable to attend. But, so I told her that I would also now put it on this agenda, and I believe she can attend the meeting, so I please notify.
Okay. You want to state your name and address for the record, please?
Hi, Cheryl Nelson, 320 Ash Avenue South. Unfortunately, I was unable to be here last meeting. I was in bed with the flu. I did write a letter with my concerns on the noise, which in proximity to my house is extremely loud. It interrupts our sleep because it starts at 5 a.m. And apparently I'm not the only one that's had concerns because this was brought up for a variance for some reason from someone else apparently. I'm just wondering if we could come to some kind of compromise with the hours.
Okay. Which part are you, the morning is more of an issue, or the later
Actually
in the
both,
evening, or
because
both? Okay.
I work in the morning, and my husband, unfortunately, drives truck, gets up at midnight. He needs to be in bed by at least 6 to get 6 decent hours. When there's rocks being poured into a dump truck and the skid loader is scraping, and, I mean, he's not sleeping.
Yep.
And for him to be out driving a semi on the road with no sleep is not really
Has this been ongoing?
conducive to anyone.
Has this been an ongoing problem?
It has,
What's the
but it
reason?
seems like it's just gotten worse in the last probably 6-8 months.
Okay.
And I wasn't aware of like a noise ordinance. I mean, I thought several times about complaining, but you know, you just try and grin and bear it. And but then once I got the letter that he wanted to extend the hours to 15 hours a day, 6 days a week, that's kind of a lot.
Have you had conversations with him?
No.
Just haven't, or, I mean, is there a specific reason why you haven't?
I guess I just, you know, I know it's his business and whatever, and I don't know, like I said, it's been irritating, but until this kind of all came up where I knew that I actually had like an option to go maybe, you know, set different time or hours, or, you know, have a discussion about it.
So what would you propose?
Maybe if you go an hour either way, like say 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Just cut an hour off each end.
I was under the impression that he talked about just kind of loading equipment, and I didn't think he was going to...
Oh, no, he's dumping
Loading of equipment,
boulders.
like
Yeah.
rocks and that kind of
That
stuff.
was supposed to be in the morning. The morning was gonna be loading, because he didn't want to load his trucks at night.
But I mean, he's loading like boulders into a dump truck.
Yeah.
So imagine,
He
my
came in-
windows are right,
Yeah, you're
my
the
bedroom
closest
windows.
place
Yeah.
there, aren't you? Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
On the application for the variance request, he had said that he would be loading, any loading of fieldstone boulders would be done from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So he's actually, weekdays and Saturdays. So your request is actually giving him an extra hour at 6 a.m.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't read it that closely. then.
Yeah.
That's a good note
Okay.
to have in there. And certainly if any of that's happening out of those hours, I mean, we want to hear about that, but,
Okay.
his, a little background on his, when he came in, he said he wouldn't be doing a lot of the loading at night. The whole idea of this was to load in the morning at 5, so he could get out on the road, because
Right.
things change, schedules change, projects change, so he's got to load his trucks in the morning, get on the road, get out to the job site, you know, by 8 a.m., so he's not, you know, so he had said he wasn't loading at night, so if that's changed too, I'd like to hear a little
Well,
bit about
unloading
that,
isn't
but-
any quieter though.
Yeah, well,
So,
yeah, true.
but, okay, well, like I said, I just kinda wanted my concerns on record, and,
No, and I appreciate that. I think some of our discussions last, meeting were, you know, we hadn't heard a lot of complaints. He's been there for 12 years, I think, and there was one complaint
mhm.
2 months ago which drove some of that
Right,
absolutely
that-
happened, and that
yeah.
was someone not even within the 500 feet, correct? But it was a resident, absolutely, so.
And like I said, up until probably, within the past year, it really hadn't been a problem. I don't know if he added additional equipment on, or expanded, or what it was, but all of a sudden it's just...
We're trying to do that balancing, you know, try to keep the businesses obviously that we need also, but
I understand
the
that.
residents too, so I think if you keep in contact, call Luann if there are issues, if there are things, I think we could look at that.
Okay,
Especially now as we're getting into now, that 5 a.m., as these months start rolling in, it's not even light at 5, I would be
oh, he was
fine.
loading in the dark,
Yeah, you know, so some of that,
because nobody likes to be woken up at 5 a.m. in the winter, trust me.
right, so.
Unless you absolutely have
Does anyone else have any other comments on it? Any other ideas what we could do to kind of balance this? I'm kind of in the mindset to keep going with the hours that we granted for now, but
All right,
by keeping in close contact,
all
you
right.
know, and
That's
then
fine.
relook at it, is anyone,
Oh, okay.
are you okay with that for now?
Yeah, that
I-
sounds good.
it- let-
So you can give her the information on what his hours of heavy loading are supposed to be?
Maybe you can keep that, you know, another copy I can send you.
I think I have it yet, I'll go home and reread it.
And we can certainly we can certainly talk to them also in the city and let them know, you know, hey, we know you're granted this, if you can do, you know, try to wait longer if you can't, you know, be a
Right.
little sensitive to that, but it might not be a bad idea for you to reach out also,
Okay.
you know, assuming everything's friendly with, I don't know
Yeah.
the background of everything.
I mean,
but,
I understand he has his, you know, it's his
Yeah,
business, you know,
yeah.
we also have to work for a living too, so.
Yeah, but we can
That's what I'm saying, if we
certainly,
could just come to a compromise,
I think,
I'd be okay with
I think he's
that.
real willing to work with the city too. I think we could reach out to and see what, you know, let him know there was
All right,
some concerns and see what he can do on that aspect.
okay,
Certainly keep in contact,
all right.
okay?
right,
Thank you.
well, thank you.
Thank you, I hope you feel better. Sorry. 6.2.
Mr. Mayor, council members, on the street repairs. City staff had compiled 2 quotes for the repair of the alleys, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th, and 5th Street. And 5th Street, this 5th Street is not the one over here by the creamery, but the one down, that goes around Don Wackles by Vince Stifter, Cheryl Nelson, her house back down in there. The city. Southeast, yeah. The city received quotes from GMH and from William Mueller and Sons, and below is a breakdown of the proposed repairs. City council will need to discuss which streets or alleys will be repaired, and also the city was waiting for quotes before completing seal coating for the year, and a decision on seal coating should also be made. So we need to get quotes for seal coating, and we haven't done that because we were waiting for the street repairs to find out what you wanted to do, because we were gonna use some of that $40,000 that we budgeted for, seal coating for some of these street repairs, if you want. So I've attached all the quotes. The alleys, some of this repair work can be assessed. If it's going to be assessed, then we have to hold a public hearing and notify property owners. So I need to know which way you're gonna go with that too.
One question on 2nd Street Northwest, is that the street we did like 2 years ago, or am I?
That's the other part of
By
it.
the church.
Oh, okay, so, gotcha.
Yeah, Kyle met with GMH and with Mueller, so if you have any questions, he can probably answer them better than I can.
Did either of them give estimates on what their best guess is, how long this would last? Do we have to redo it again, or do a complete base and?
I think the last time when we did this, they said for it, probably 5 years we would get out of it.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Yeah. Yeah. When we did the other part.
Did any of them make any comments, you know, as you're out there with them of, boy, why are you doing it this approach? Why you're throwing good money over back? You know, as them being the professionals, did any of them look at it?
GMH he kind of looked at it and was like, he was kind of questionable on, you know, what the foundation underneath it was like, the, you know, how much gravel underneath it, you know, he was kind of concerned about that. Just, yeah, basically just looking for that are there right now, kind of concerned about. So, he did it, he quoted it the best way that he thought, you know, the city should do it. They're
Okay.
just doing this instead of before, you know, they wanted to do, you guys wanted to do the whole construction later, but.
Okay. Oh, Luann, I'm just a little confused on your sheet here.
Okay?
If you could maybe just take a few minutes to explain it for me.
Sure. Well,
I see we got the quotes on 4th, 2nd, and Canary, but only from one of the contractors, not the other.
No.
Where am I misreading this, or?
Did you look at the quotes that were attached?
Yeah,
They bid
I
them
tried to get
different.
through, yeah.
They bid them differently. Instead of bidding them totally, he bid them like he did, reclaim 2nd Street was to take it all off, reclaim 4th was to take it off, remove and replace 4th instead. So his quote was confusing, and I tried to put these in where you see the 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
Those are the 3, 4, and 5 here. So I was confused
Oh.
by his,
Okay.
that's why the numbers. I was confused, it was hard to take his quote and make it the same as Mueller's.
Okay.
I tried to do that the best I could, so that's why I did, kind of did the alleys and the street separate, so you could see the totals. And that they are both close, yet William Mueller is lower.
GMH didn't bid on Canary, or it's just,
Scope of the work's pretty similar, isn't it?
Must be, yeah.
He didn't put Canary.
he did not?
Other than that, the scopes are pretty similar, correct?
Correct, so that he just lumped them together differently than, William Mueller's was easier to understand. So he
Yeah, they broke it up.
broke it up there. Yeah. Does that make sense? Mike?
Yes, thank you.
So that
Yeah.
makes Mueller's even lower than GMH, because they got $7,000 in there almost for Canary.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that helps. And this is then milling it, or tearing it up and putting on 3 inches. And that's it, right? Nothing else we're doing on this, just getting down to this.
Seemed to work good on Second Street. For now, anyway. Versus, when we looked at this, 2 years ago or something, the figures were scary to do it the right way. Having said that, something needs to be done soon.
Something needs to be done, yeah.
So there's $40,000 in the street budget, and I believe you have 105 in that street fund, a little over 106. You could take it out, well, no, we've taken the skid loader out of the street fund, so it's about 75 left in that, street fund left.
I haven't been down the alleys recently. Are they something, somebody can make comment on their condition?
They're horrible.
One by the water plant.
At one time.
Before it crushed in the gravel on its own.
And how long
That
of
and then the horse.
assuming average weather and all that, how long of a process, how long of a job is all this? Couple days, couple weeks?
I would assume,
Yeah, I'm assuming it can.
$78,000.
Would there be any reason to do half this, do the streets this year, do the alleys next year, or does that not make sense to do that?
I'm afraid that might cost more with their mobilization, getting all their equipment in
I mean,
out
how
of town.
much?
They might not want to do that, or might want to charge an extra few grand.
How much, I mean, is it worth waiting though? And I understand it may take a little more, but...
Can you speak to the road bases at all, or what do you think?
I don't know what's under contract.
I would have a hard time assessing it on a short-term repair like this, because it's not really improving the value of their land. Yeah. 5, 6 years
Right.
down the road, and we maybe do it the right way, then we look at assessment.
To that point about the base, maybe that's what makes sense for you to have one into the next, in case if you get to the point where they take it on the street and they require more grading the base, and you've only got about 80,000, we've got 140 to 3 streets, because we're not gonna do any field photo this year. And 70,000 left in the street.
Yeah, that would be some could say, but again, what will we do? Once they get it tore up, what more would we be doing than just lay it down? I don't know.
Unless there's grading that has to be done, and gravel that has to be done.
Yeah.
And I guess at that time, have to go back and get it from the fund. It can't be.
They do that? Oh, right, yeah.
The money that you have.
Right. Seems an expensive Band-Aid, you know, to try to get 5 years out of it.
What was the whole project though? That was...
Like I said, almost $16,000 a year if you get 5 years out of it. That's a lot for a Band-Aid.
I agree, the problem I see is if we don't put a Band-Aid on it, they're shot right now, and I don't think there's the appetite to do the whole project. I can't remember the cost, but it was staggering.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, this is separate.
Local outage over here, and then also the water line. These ones over here are a little bit more fast. That's kind of what it is.
Well, you can say it's a 5-year patch or repair. I've did this several times, and the number of times I've seen the streets go 7 years is amazing. In the downtown area, I haven't seen them changing in 5 years. You know, if they're next to the water line, you know, starting to curbs and gutters and parking and some of that. When a new facility would come in, apartments, you know, that would drive redoing some of those areas. But right now, we just don't have that, so I think this is, you know, good numbers for, you know, repair. I've seen this done in, all those I don't know if I'm willing to go the whole thing, if we can do maybe this area 1 year and do the other area next year. Just so we have some reserve in the budget.
To the point that the contrary argument is we already got, 1 or 2 years ago, we did one section of it. If we start spreading out too much, then when we decide we want to do the whole project, we're eventually either, some of it's going to be really, really bad, or we're going to be tearing out some good stuff yet. I'd rather have it kind of all wear out at the same time and do the huge project, just forward thinking. But I see that point too, I'm not disagreeing. Just thinking that if we're going to do it, I would almost rather just get it done with, and maybe we can do some sort of interfund loan or something like that. Man might be able to, she's crafty with that kind of stuff, to figure out a way to borrow from one fund or something to pay it this year, and then pay ourselves back next year or something.
You gotta think about it, water and sewer, these streets going down, any elements out of town. That's right along that alley back in there.
I know there was an issue with one of the services on some areas. Quite a few years ago, I don't know if that's what it is.
How about assessing, where, thoughts on that?
They were huge because it's so sparse of an area.
Assessing that, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm against that because I don't think we're helping the homeowners that much in value or anything like that. if
thought you
we're
meant
doing the
we
whole
did the whole
project,
work.
yeah, but this being in downtown area primarily, on top of that, there's an area that benefits the whole community. Well, redoing the whole thing, project, I just couldn't support that.
We didn't assess the Second Street one, did we?
Well, I agree. I agree. I don't think it adds any value. No, so
Let's get this done. The streets are horrible. They look horrible, they drive horribly. I would do both, do them all at once.
Can you explain the funding of it one more time?
Well, that's why then you'll have to make a decision whether you're gonna do seal coating. That's why we're waiting for these bids in order to make a decision about seal coating. That's why we hadn't made a decision about it. And there's $40,000 in the budget for seal coating. There was $105 in this 2014 budget. There was $105 in your street project fund, but we purchased the skid loader, and that money came out of there. So that's 23 plus the attachment. I think it's right around 35,000. 25, okay, so we've probably got about 80,000 left in that street fund. So you've got 120,000 to work with. So you could deplete your whole street fund if you wanted to and do partial seal coating, or you can't wait too much longer on seal coating, is my understanding, because it needs to be done probably in August. As the nights get too cool, it's not good to wait.
What's the downside of depleting the street fund if something else happens, correct? I mean, for emergency repairs, or what?
The money that you just set aside that's been left over from the street, sort of like the capital fund that you just put money aside, but this is probably a very perfect way to spend that money that's been put aside. But you also have that 435 fund that we established, and you probably could take some money out of there, which was $1.2 million in there, and not remember. But remember, we transferred 800 and some thousand out of the general fund, and then we took another 163 out of that, the one that we closed, but was part of the assessment for the 7th Street project.
I'm just trying to understand what upside or downside of using all the money out of that street fund we need some money in there for other, I'm trying to get a handle what it's for. And if it's for these sorts of things, of street reconstruction, or would it be if a water main broke and we had to dig up a road, and, or is that something else? You know what I mean? I'm not sure what that fund all encompasses and what it's for. If it's for these things, I don't mind depleting it then.
Well, the water, if we had a water main break, part of it would come from the water fund, part of it would come from the all fund. But the point is that if you don't want to deplete this, you could spend the 40 out of the budget and then take the balance out of the street fund.
Sounds like we can do both. Sounds like we have the 40 budget and there's enough to this whole project, 78.
Correct. You would have enough to do. It's just where you want to fund it. Right. So if you want to wait and do a seal coating project next year, we take the 40 out of that, and then the balance out of the street fund, we could do that.
What's the seal coating?
How much was it?
Yeah, what were we planning on?
Seal coating was $37,000, and it was, part of Hidden Creek, part of Fieldstone, and, there was a little area down in here that hadn't been done, that needs to be done. So I think that on the seal coating map, when I look at that, I think we could break that in half and maybe spend 20 on the seal coating. There was some that Martini redid the map for me, so that it wouldn't be that it all would absolutely have to be done this year, that we could maybe move some ahead to next year, is what he said when I talked to him about it. If we had to.
But then budget, instead of budgeting 40,000 next year, budget 60.
I think we have 40
Right.
budgeted for next year, yeah.
But we'd have to catch that up somewhere, right?
Well, possibly, but yes.
Well, I'm not sure how on a side note, and I don't want to get the conversation up on seal coating right now, but I don't know how the map's changing. I thought we were set on our seal coating for ever.
I think that he examines the streets and then he can make a determination that maybe they aren't as bad, that they could go one more year before they have to be seal coated. I think he likes to see them seal coated every 5 years.
I appreciate that.
And then he looks, maybe does an inspection and says, well, we could wait one more year if we needed to.
I appreciate that, long as our budget is 40,000 every year, and we always know that will be enough. Maybe one year it'll be 50, but Or one year you only spend 20, but the 20's still there, you put another 40, and the next year you spend 60, and it evens. I'm fine with that, and I appreciate that, looking at it, determining if we can wait a year, but...
So he was just trying to
Anyway,
come up with a
okay.
solution for us to help us financially.
So what's the downside of depleting the fund?
I don't think there is one.
What it's for, correct?
Correct.
We're budgeting more into that fund this year? Okay.
It's just like a capital balance transfer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's been built up from other ways.
And I think there was money put aside, I think there was a time when the city did budget before I was here, that they put that money into that fund for that reason.
Got it. Thank you.
My understanding.
We don't need all the silk going and stress on another year though, by all means.
I don't mind doing it, but I think the money's gotta stay, and the money's gotta stay there for us, so. If we're gonna, take 1/4 of it out, I think that 10,000 needs to be there, because that 1/4 is gonna have to get done sometime.
If we're stretching out a year or two though, then we'll have to each year. Doing everything every 5 years, and certain years, 6 years. Eventually, you're not gonna need.
One may end up having to be done 4, though. I mean, if we have a full project on the seal coating and we've determined, okay, 40,000 every year, we should have 20,000 there every year. Make sure we have it covered. Now, if we get to the point where we got a plus balance of 80,000 and we're on, then absolutely, I think we could start cutting back, but I'd be hesitant on cutting that out. That's proven to add a lot of life onto the streets if you keep up on that. That really, give you 30 years versus 20 years.
I guess ultimately in the end, we could transfer back and forth between the two funds too, so it probably doesn't matter a whole lot, we're probably debating.
Yeah, that could. So are we looking for a motion to do the project, or looking for a motion to do it, and where to get the funds from, or is the funds a different conversation?
I guess, Mr. Mayor, you can do it however you choose to do it. If you want to go ahead and approve the project and then make a separate motion on where you want the funds to come from, you can do that too. Or you can make it all once, it's really your choice.
If someone wants to make a motion, and I'm fine going either way, if we make it into two, if there are concerns with what fund it comes out of, or if we want to just talk to doing this or not.
I'll make a motion that we complete the project.
With the seal coating?
Without just street repair.
Complete the street repair project.
We'll do the seal
For
coating.
which contractor?
With Mueller's, correct.
Okay, for $78,870?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I think as we move forward with our budget, we want to make sure that we got the 40,000 for the seal coating.
Oh, yeah, I think we are.
And then we need to take into consideration street repairs, money for that. Is it my understanding that this money is also the money for the capital improvements such as the Bobcat, the trucks and that other equipment?
Street fund budget? No. We had decided that we needed to purchase a Bobcat, and it was a place that we had the funds that we could take from, even though we hadn't budgeted for the purchase.
That wasn't the initial intent of the fund.
No.
Okay.
No, it was for street only.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then, do we want to talk now where it comes from? Do you want to just, are we talking streets? We're not talking streets down the road, are we? We can talk about maybe the work session, the seal coating, and then where the funds come from, or?
I think we need a motion on where you want the funds to come from now. You can't take action.
Oh, we can't, yeah, correct. Right.
Like a motion to pay for it out of the street fund.
The entire, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it, so. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, then we will go to 6.3.
Mr. Mayor, council members, the city had authorized advertisements for bids for snow plowing at the June 23rd, 2014 council meeting, and the city received only one bid from Whitmer Construction. Staff is recommending approval of the contract with Whitman Construction to complete snow plowing for the city of Bear for the 2014-2015 snow season, with the option that, we can extend the contract if he's in agreement. He has to be in agreement to extend it, we do, so. And it has the changes in it that we talked about.
Excuse me, he was fine with 1 year? He didn't see any issues with that, right, initially? Now, if you know, and I meant to email you this today, how do these hourly rates stack up to what last year's were?
I think they
Or
are,
last year's, I guess.
with Mono?
Yeah.
I think that the, Bobcat, do you remember that? Hourly rate, I could grab it.
It was $90.
I think it was 90 also.
And it's 135, and then the single axle plow, do you remember when you were charging us for that, Kyle? This is 135 also, the payloader and plow is 135. And the tandem truck's 110, and the pickup and plow is 95, that sounds the same.
Pretty cool.
Close, yeah.
That's where I'm at. How close is this, and then for budgeting, obviously, if there's a big increase in this, we gotta, budget for it. And this contractor has done it in the past.
Correct. He was here before Mono.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we have issues with this contractor? Well, on the last, when he was doing it, was it his choice not to rebid?
No, he did, and Mono was cheaper than what Woodmer was. And so the city council chose to go with the contractor that was going to charge the less for the acre.
We have a good working relationship with this contractor.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have a motion approving a one-year contract with Whitmer Construction for 2014 snow plowing season.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then we'll go through council reports. Dan, do you have anything to report on? No.
The Rising Community Festival had a wrap-up session. We ended up with 85 cars and 1 motorcycle, 30 tractors. They added bingo this year. It did get rained out, so we'll try bingo again next year. They are going to add possibly a duck race. They want to talk about some music and doing maybe beer and wine tasting. The lady in town that has the bakery, they want to try to add her to the event and see if she'll come up with her stuff. Just working on some other things and ways to maybe save some money but still kind of grow the event. The ultimate goal is to keep growing the event.
You said 85 cars, 35 tractors, and
85 cars, 1 motorcycle, and 30 tractors. I do not know. All my meetings are upcoming.
And I believe, I don't think I've been in meetings, I have not been to meetings since I last, so I haven't reported also. Any other business?
Mr. Mayor, you had asked for the forecast, the population forecast.
Oh, yeah.
So I included that in your packet, and then I also updated the emergency operations plan as requested, the changes that you had asked for, and included a copy in everyone's packet so you have that.
Still are missing the CARE 11 phone number. Yep. Yeah, just the last 4 digits. And I know you added that in the very last page, some additional. Were we going to add MPCA on there? That is the duty for the MPCA, okay. And what's that second to the last number?
7215 is CARE 11 number, and the second to the last.
Yeah, where there's no position, it's just a primary phone number, 1-800-367-6792.
What's the name right above it? Is it for rural water?
Yep.
Yeah, that's for other number.
So won't that go to their,
That's for 800 number.
so won't that go to their secondary?
I can see that.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Any other comments on that?
How many houses do we have in town?
And that's, oh, we're up over 600 of houses, is that what you asked? Eric?
Yes.
That's the households number, correct?
And I could get that right. I
Oh.
have it, adjustment. These are taxation notices that were mailed out from the county when they bill us, there's a number on that if you want that. Okay.
Yeah, we know how many permits have been in the last, since 2010, so we should. Okay. Anything else? Thank you for putting that, thank you for getting that, that's helpful. Then I'll look for motion to adjourn. Wait a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.